Welcome back. You're watching Market Pulse. Joining us now is Jiju Vidyadharan. He's Director for Funds and Fixed Income Research at CRISIL. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Vidyadharan. I'm going to begin by asking you about balance funds. You're advising investors that in such volatile times that would be the best way to go forward. Explain to us how this would really work and how it helps in mitigating the risk.
Sure. So really in terms of the current market environment that we really see, which is a volatile environment, and where both equity as well as fixed income are really seeing high levels of volatility. It is very important for investors really to take active and tactical asset allocation calls, so as to really benefit. And for really taking active asset allocation calls, it is very important for you to be well informed, and it's not so much of an easy thing really to do. In that scenario, balance funds, where the fund manager, the professional fund manager really takes the dynamic asset allocation call on behalf of the investor, that sort of a product really comes into vogue, and it's really a very good tool from that perspective to really consider looking at investing during these volatile times. Even if you were to look at the performance trends over different periods of time, a good measure of the performance of balance funds is really the CRISIL AMFI Mutual Fund Performance Index for Balance Funds. What we really see is that the index has outperformed the Nifty over sustained periods of time. So for instance, 3, 5, 7 and 10 year periods, the balance fund index has really outperformed the Nifty index, and therefore this is also backed by numbers. So to that extent, during volatile periods of time, asset allocation is critical, and balance funds really give you the simplest way to really profit from asset allocation.
Right, we've seen that the kind of measures in terms of liquidity tightening that came out had an adverse impact as far as the debt funds are concerned, and there was a lot of redemption that took place in between. What is the trend that you're looking at now? Are there more inflows still coming into that segment? Should people still be investing in debt funds at this point of time?
Sure. So in terms of the recent history that we have really seen in case of debt funds, if we look at numbers till June, there was a lot of inflows that were really coming into income and gilt funds, primarily income funds. So a lot of interest in the duration products, primarily because of the interest rate declining trend that was there, and the returns that were being generated by the longer duration funds. But of course, subsequently, with the liquidity tightening measures that came in, there has been a significant amount of negative returns that has really come out for longer duration products. What we have really seen in terms of the latest AUM numbers, which were the numbers for July that we have seen, we've seen one falling trend in terms of assets, primarily for the liquid categories. There has been a little bit of erosion in the income fund AUM as well, but liquid funds, which if you were to look at some dates in July, had actually shown negative returns. A large number of liquid funds had shown negative returns, and to that extent there was significant erosion that was seen in liquid AUM, approximately about 20% fall. In this scenario, if we actually look at the scenario today, what we really have is very a sharp increase really in the short-term rates, and therefore to that extent, from an investor's point of view, liquid and ultra-short funds, even short-term income funds, are products that can really benefit from the short-term high interest rate scenario. Duration products such as income and gilt, you really need to have a slightly longer investment horizon for really benefiting from those products, given the sort of interest rates that are seen at this point of time. So clearly 1 to 2 year time frame is what you would really need to look at while investing in the longer duration products.
Right.
What additionally comes in is fixed maturity plans. So you've really seen a lot of interest in fixed maturity.
Right. Jiju, I'm sorry, I'll have to interrupt you in that. We're just getting the numbers for Hindalco's first quarter. Also, your sales have come in at about 5,770 crore rupees. Other income has come in about 428 crore rupees, which is almost absent from the last time around. And your net sales are at 5,770 crore rupees is the figure that we've got right now. As far as the Hindalco is concerned, its total costs have come in at 554 crore rupees, the net profit at 474 crore rupees, much higher than actually what we were really expecting. We were expecting a PAT figure of about 326 crore rupees. So there you go, that's Hindalco for you. Has recovered quite a bit since those numbers really hit the terminals. It's down by